Good morning. Here is your global news report for April 20th, 2026. The international situation on April 20th, 2026, is marked by ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran concerning the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran refusing further talks with the US and maintaining its maritime blockade. President Trump has issued warnings of destruction. In Ukraine, a mass killing occurred in Kyiv, and President Zelensky has condemned the easing of sanctions on Russia. Overall, the tone remains predominantly negative. The tensions between the United States and Iran continue, with Iran refusing additional talks with the US, citing excessive demands and the maritime blockade. While the US dispatched a delegation to Pakistan, President Trump threatened to destroy Iran's power plants and bridges if an agreement was not reached. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz persists, significantly impacting the global economy. President Donald Trump has adopted a hardline stance towards Iran, threatening to destroy Iran's power plants and bridges. Venezuelan politicians have praised his achievements in the Abraham Accords. Domestically, a controversy over MAGA Jesus has led to a clash with Pope Leo XIV, and influenced by Joe Rogan, the president signed an executive order promoting research into hallucinogenic drugs. A mass killing incident, perpetrated by a man from Moscow, occurred in Kyiv, resulting in 6 deaths and 14 injuries. President Zelensky condemned the US's easing of oil sanctions against Russia, which he stated provides funds for the Russian military. Russian forces have been conducting attacks across Ukraine, while the Ukrainian military has attacked drone factories within Russia. Next, here are the key stories from the US. The United States faces a tense situation with Iran regarding the Strait of Hormuz and ongoing peace negotiations, while gasoline prices are surging. Domestically, major developments include religious debates surrounding former President Trump, research into treatments, congressional sexual harassment allegations, and animal rights demonstrations. The U.S. is scheduled to hold peace talks with Iran and Pakistan, with high-level officials including Vice President J.D. Vance expected to attend, though Iran's participation remains unconfirmed. Former President Trump has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire agreement in the Strait of Hormuz and has suggested military action if an agreement is not reached. Although the Strait of Hormuz was temporarily closed, an agreement to reopen it was reached. However, U.S. gasoline prices are not expected to return to pre-conflict levels anytime soon. Former President Donald Trump expedited research into the therapeutic uses of certain psychedelic drugs following a text message from podcaster Joe Rogan. A conflict continues between Pope Leo XIV and Trump over historical Jesus versus MAGA Jesus, with the Pope stating his activities focus on peacebuilding. In the Democratic primary for the Michigan Senate election, the candidacy and potential victory of Abdul El-Sayed are drawing attention. In Wisconsin, approximately 1,000 animal rights activists attempted to breach a beagle breeding facility, leading to clashes where police used rubber bullets and tear gas, resulting in the arrest of a leader. Meanwhile, Representative Eric Swalwell, a Democrat from California, faces allegations of sexual harassment, with his handling of former staff members being scrutinized. Next, here are the key stories from Europe. A large-scale evacuation was carried out in a Paris suburb due to unexploded World War II bomb disposal, and a car incident injured pedestrians in central London. In the UK, a new charity was established to commemorate Queen Elizabeth. In Colombes, a Paris suburb, thousands of residents were evacuated for the disposal of an unexploded World War II bomb. The bomb was safely disposed of through controlled demolition. A car struck pedestrians in Westminster, central London, leaving one woman in critical condition and another with life-threatening injuries. The 29-year-old driver was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. The UK government has established the Queen Elizabeth Trust with a £40 million endowment to commemorate Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday. King Charles III serves as its patron. Next, here are the key stories from the Middle East. Negotiations between Iran and the US are facing difficulties, increasing tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, while Israel expands its military bases in Gaza. An attack on UNIFIL occurred in southern Lebanon, and Syria announced it had intercepted Hezbollah missile launches. Negotiations between Iran and the United States have failed to break the stalemate in the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran announcing it is fully prepared for a resumption of U.S. hostile actions ahead of the Wednesday ceasefire deadline. Satellite imagery indicates that Israel is expanding its permanent military bases in the Gaza Strip, particularly in the southern city of Rafah. Meanwhile, US-backed reconstruction plans for Rafah are reportedly stalled. A French contingent of the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, was attacked in southern Lebanon, resulting in the death of one French soldier and injuries to 3 others. The Israeli military and France have blamed Hezbollah, while Syria announced it intercepted cross-border missile launches related to Hezbollah. Next, here are the key stories from Russia. Major news includes condemnation of the easing of oil sanctions related to the Ukraine war, promotion of widespread HIV testing to combat the spread of infection within the country, and international developments such as Iran's refusal to negotiate with the US. Ukrainian President Zelensky has accused the US of providing billions of dollars to the Russian military for use in attacks on Ukraine through the extension of sanctions relief on Russian oil. Russia's health minister has announced a policy to encourage approximately 1/3 of the population to undergo annual HIV testing to address the rising number of HIV infections. Iran has refused a second round of negotiations with the United States, despite a warning from US President Donald Trump about it being a last chance, citing reasons such as excessive demands. Next, here are the key stories from China. Discussions are underway regarding the impact of AI-driven job insecurity on the housing market, and Shanghai is leveraging its elderly workforce to address a demographic crisis. Drones have been introduced for the first time in Hong Kong for public order measures, indicating new developments in both social and economic spheres. The impact of AI-driven job insecurity on China's housing market is currently considered limited, but it may pose a potential headwind for younger tech workers, leading to caution in long-term housing purchase decisions, according to reports. Shanghai has launched a 28-department plan to mobilize retirees and utilize its elderly workforce to address a demographic crisis, where 1/3 of its residents are past retirement age. The Hong Kong police have deployed drones for the first time to combat illegal street gambling, arresting 8 suspects, aged 53 to 76, and confiscating 420 Hong Kong dollars in cash over the past 2 weeks. Next, here are the key stories from Japan. While the Nikkei average approaches a new high, nearing 60,000, attention is focused on the developments in the Middle East. Domestically, changes are observed in economic and social trends, including an increase in job seekers avoiding transfers, trends in popular companies for employment, cost overruns in large-scale logistics facility construction, and new product strategies by food companies. The Nikkei average reached a new high for approximately 2 months on April 16, closing at 59,518 yen, with the possibility of breaking 60,000 for the first time this week. This is partly due to expectations of an end to the conflict between the US and Iran. However, Iran's state news agency reported on April 19 that Iran refused to participate in a second round of talks with the US. According to a survey by Manavi, approximately 70% of job seekers, especially 80% of those in their 20s, stated they do not want to work for a company with transfers due to rising prices and high housing costs. In the survey of employment intentions for university and graduate students graduating in March 2027, Nitori ranked first among humanities students, and Ajinomoto ranked first among science students. The construction cost for the logistics facility planned by Japan GLP in Akashima City, Tokyo, is expected to exceed the initial plan by up to 1.3 trillion yen due to soaring material costs. Additionally, Prima Meat Packers aims to expand its domestic market share with new sausage products, such as the Guilty series, which are 1.5 times heavier and higher in calories than their main Coon product. Next, here are the key stories from the Asia-Oceania region. Increased environmental awareness in Singapore, human rights issues in Indonesia, and social and religious challenges in India are being reported as major developments. In Singapore, demand for solar power generation is surging due to rising energy prices. Some installers report that demand in April has quadrupled compared to January, according to reports. The National Human Rights Commission has launched an investigation into an incident in Indonesia's Papua region where 12 civilians were allegedly killed during military operations. The commission strongly suspects the involvement of the Indonesian military. The Vishva Hindu Parishad, VHP, a Hindu organization in India, has urged companies nationwide to address those attempting to forcibly convert Hindu female employees, warning that the public will take action if companies do not. This call comes with a warning of public action if companies fail to respond. Next, here are the key stories from South America. A retrial concerning the death of Diego Maradona has begun in Argentina, and Venezuela's opposition leader has expressed determination for free elections. The president of Argentina reaffirmed its alliance with Israel. The second trial concerning the death of Diego Maradona has commenced in San Isidro, a suburb of Buenos Aires, Argentina. 7 medical professionals are indicted on charges of culpable homicide, facing potential prison sentences of 8 to 25 years. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado addressed thousands of Venezuelans in Madrid's Puerta del Sol Square, declaring the start of a new phase towards free elections and receiving a gold medal from the community of Madrid. Argentine President Milei met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu amidst the ongoing conflict with Iran, reaffirming the alliance between Argentina and Israel. That concludes today's Global News Report. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.